Blake Snell to the Dodgers, of course. But what does this mean for the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes? Are the Cubs now the favorites? Welcome in, Cubs fans, Setup Nation. Thank you for joining me here. This is going to be just a really quick episode because I mainly want to hear what you think about this whole Roki Sasaki thing after the news of Blake Snell signing with the Dodgers, which, you know, before we get into Sasaki, it's just like, if you haven't seen already, over $60 million of this is also being deferred in this deal. So it's just like, you know, when does the league actually step in here and say like, hey, we should probably put some rules in place on this whole deferral thing for guys like the Dodgers and teams like the Dodgers who are just like abusing this whole thing. And here's the thing, like, I'm not even one to say like, oh, this is going to come back to bite them. I don't think it is. I think they're going to probably take 5 of the next 7 World Series if they keep on going down this route, and then just have all the advertising money in the world for whoever is going to need to pay that debt. So I don't know. I don't know how that side of the business works, but that's not the point of this. Before we get into it, please go ahead and comment below with what you are thankful for Thanksgiving. And that's a really big way to support the show. Sharing the videos, liking the videos, subscribing, all great ways to support the show. But for right now, do me a favor and comment with what you're thankful for. And speaking of supporting the show, we are going to have opportunities where we're going to be bringing in some brands that I think you guys are really going to like because I use them myself coming up here soon. This is just going to be a way to support the show. I do this as a thing. You know, this is kind of a side passion project that I put my heart and soul into, and I love this, but there are expenses. We travel a lot. We go to spring training. And so if you buy any of the brands or any of the things that we're going to be doing, we're partnering with our Obvious Shirts coming up here as well. We're going to have our own line of shirts and apparel too, so that's going to be really fun. So there's going to be other ways that you can support the show. Really appreciate that. All right. Now the whole reason you clicked on this video, I personally am thankful, and this is my thing that I will say out loud. Maybe I'll comment below as well. I am thankful that the Dodgers signed Blake Snell. Why? Because while I don't think it takes them out of the race for Roki Sasaki, I do think it lowers the chances of them being a Roki Sasaki player. Plus, there have been a lot of reports that like these rumors of Sasaki going to the Dodgers are all just like kind of made up because of what? Like, that's where rumors start. Think about how many different rumors there's been of the Cubs and trades with the Guardians and signing Pete Alonso and all this and Vlad Guerrero, and none of that has come to fruition. So until it's on the dotted line, we aren't going to pay attention to the rumors, but it does sound like a lot of the rumors of him going to the Dodgers were not legitimate to start. However, let's just assume for a second that Blake Snell signing with the Dodgers is their way of saying, hey, no, we just want this guy to even know that he's going to be in a 6-man rotation and he's not going to have to worry about going every 5 days. And then we have 6 aces on this team, because let's just rewind this for you really quickly of what the Dodgers starting rotation, if healthy, that's the asterisk, right? Because they're almost never healthy, is going to be in 2025. You've got Blake Snell, Shohei Ohtani, yes. I mean, there was questions of him pitching in the World Series. That's how close he is to making a comeback. Tyler Glasnow, again, injuries, right? That guy has never thrown over 120 innings in a year, I think is the number. Gonsolin, Yamamoto, and then, oh, by the way, this dude named Bobby Miller who can throw 99-plus miles an hour and had a rough season, some injuries, yada, yada. And if he comes back healthy, you never know. There's also Dustin May, who it's like he's got filthy stuff. So you look at that, that's 5 aces in Snell, Ohtani, Glasnow, Gonsolin, and Yamamoto. Maybe not currently, but at some point in their career, aces. Gonsolin especially is kind of like the wild card, I would say right now, because he hasn't pitched for a while. Then you've got the guy in Bobby Miller who could be a top of the rotation guy at some point in his career as well, if he can figure out some of his issues that he's had and get healthy as well. So it's like, okay, assuming for 1 second, which isn't going to happen, that all those guys are healthy, well, then where does Sasaki fit in unless it's going to be the most unconventional 6-man rotation? And we talk about this in baseball all the time. We talk about it especially with Japanese pitchers, but it's like it never comes to fruition. You never see a team actually go out there and say like, yeah, we've got a 6-man rotation, at least not full-time. right? Sometimes there will be that like period of the year where it's like, hey, we got 15 games in a row in 15 days. And so we're going to use a 6-man rotation during this time. But like consistently throughout the year, you just haven't seen it. Comment below if you can think of a team, because I can't think of a team that has said, yes, we're going to have a 6-man rotation the entire year. So that's, again, assuming that everyone is healthy. And then you move Bobby Miller into the bullpen, throwing 99 to 101, coming out of the bullpen in late inning situations. I can see that happening. I just want to hope at the core of me that Big Brother doesn't get to have his cake and eat it too. Like if you give them Sasaki, you might as well just hand the World Series trophy over to the Dodgers before the season even starts. And that's almost like I would go to Vegas and put money on. I don't bet, by the way. I would put money on that. And that would be the first bet I've made since I was like 19 years old. That's how confident I would be that the Dodgers would just be in pen. They are the World Series champions. Of course, there's all the things of injuries and all the things that may happen during a season that you just can't think of. But when you have the best 1-2-3 punch in your lineup, then you have 5 aces, maybe 6 aces in your rotation. How is that even fair? What are we doing here? Like, I don't know. I'll get off that pod. But what I want to say is I truly believe, and why I'm thankful that Blake Snell signed, is because I do think the Dodgers went from, if they were a 75% chance of signing Sasaki, now they're like a 30% chance of signing Sasaki. I think it doesn't take them out, but I do think it dramatically changes it. And I think at the end of the day, the Cubs would be the most obvious next choice for Sasaki. We've gone over all the reasons before. If you haven't watched that video, I'm linking it down below in the description. Make sure you go check it out. But he talks about the lifestyle. He talks about the type of team. He talks about all these different things that he's looking for at pitching development and player development. He talks about all these things that just check the marks, check the boxes for the Cubs. And to me, that the only thing that maybe he wouldn't be stoked about is the cold weather in April and into May. And that would be the only thing. But he can talk to Shota about that. He can talk to Seiya about that. And I think that even says to him, like, hey, who cares that it's cold? That means in April and May, you're like going to go out there and you're going to dominate. Look at my numbers. Shota can say, look at my numbers in April and May in Chicago. I couldn't give up a run if I even tried. I couldn't give up a home run if I wanted to. Do you want to go and be just another guy with the Dodgers, or do you want to be the guy who comes in to a team, is the difference maker, and can go up against Big Brother in the NLCS? And I want to see that again, 2016, 2017. I want to relive the Dodgers and Cubs in the NLCS, right? Like, let's get back to that. The ways that they improve the bullpen and the lineup, it's all in question. This is not in question. This is a clear-cut route to this makes us from an 82-win team to at least an 85-win team with one guy. If one guy can take you there, Jed has to do everything in his power to go get him. So that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know down below. What team, if not the Cubs, the Padres are out there. He's got a really good relationship with Yu Darvish. That could be the only other option that I really see being the kind of like reel him in. The question with Darvish is he's going to be 41 years old when that contract is up in 2028. Does he even make it to the end of that contract? Does he get traded before that contract is up? Those are all things that I would hope Sasaki would be like, hey, yeah, it would be cool to play with you for a year or two, but what about after that? Like, I need to make a decision for me for the long term because I'm signing a minor league deal, and this is going to be for 6 years I'm going to be with this team. Those are the things that I'm wondering, is he taking those into account? So you got Dodgers, you got Padres, you got Cubs. Is there a wild card team out there? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. For now, I'm going to go put my arm on ice. Setup Nation.